Hi loves, how you doing today? Hope everything's going wonderful. And if it's not, and I've had many days like that, I'd like you to start with small little things, like have you taken a shower? I know that sounds weird, but a lot of people who are depressed or suffering or feel down don't do that. Okay? Have you gotten a haircut? That's another thing. Have you put on a little makeup? So we're going to talk a little bit about self-care in this video because that's an important step in healing. One woman I worked with, I did counseling with for about 2 years. She had a severe depression after a narcissistic abusive relationship with a friend, not a boyfriend, a friend. And he was a male, but he was really abusive to her, and it destroyed. This was somebody who had a super self-esteem, who used to make a lot of money, and then ended up like being evicted from her apartment because she could not get out of bed for like 7 months. All she did was eat, so she gained like 50 pounds, and she wouldn't wash her hair. She wouldn't do anything, no self-care. So if you're going through that, I want you to, even if you have to kind of force yourself, but I always pray through it and that just helps. I want you to start with something small. Brush your hair or take a shower. If you've taken a shower, put on a little makeup, just maybe some lipstick. It helps you feel better. If you don't go at it all, and there are a lot of victims of narcissistic abuse that don't, take a walk, even if it's down outside your front door and just up and down your stoop, or if you're living in an apartment, just down to the street and then back up. I know this sounds like nothing, but all these little actions end up being something, because you start to feel a little better. I accomplished something. And maybe you could do something like every time you accomplish something, put $1 in a jar. 50 cents, whatever. And after like a month, go out and buy yourself something nice. Or something you haven't bought yourself, you know. I used to do that with exercise. Every time I exercise, I put $1 in the jar. I loved it because then I'd go, oh wow, I have like $50 here, and I would go and buy something, you know. So it's a good practice to reward yourself, because there's a good chance a lot of you are not rewarded in life, but you were just put down all the time. So you have to kind of like take on that yourself. You have to reward yourself, okay? So I want you to think about loving yourself, but loving yourself first is taking care of yourself. If you can't afford a haircut, and there was a lot of times I could not afford a haircut. And then there was a lot of times I felt so bad about myself, I didn't even want a hairdresser to see me. So I learned to cut my hair out using YouTube videos. And it actually works. Now I just cut my own hair. I mean, you know, I study them. I didn't just, I watched one video and now I could cut my hair. But I watched like 20, 30 videos over the course of maybe a month. And sure enough, I started cutting my own hair, and I just do it myself now. So, if it takes that, then do that. But any step that helps you to start to feel a little better, do. Now, one of the things that doesn't necessarily make someone feel better is just going to the store and buying a bunch of things. It feels good in the short term, but in the long term, you just end up with clutter. You go, why did I buy that? It doesn't even look good on me. And a lot of times, and I used to do that, so I know. A lot of times, like, it will make you feel worse because what you bought doesn't even look good on you, So, and then you go into a worse depression. So, it's something that you really want to think about. Like, try to avoid that and start a self-care. Now, another thing that I've done is I've done fasts, not a complete fast, like either teas, really good teas, green teas, reishi mushroom tea, black seed tea, I'd actually take black seed and put it in a teapot, put boiling water over it with reishi, and it's delicious with stevia and honey. So I drink a lot of these healing teas, and then I would have soups, maybe one soup a day, like a tomato soup, always organic, by the way. And I cleaned out my system. I gave my liver a rest, and it really is amazing because after a couple of days, you don't even want food. So I recommend that if you're either overweight or if you're sluggish, if you don't feel good. My issue was I was sluggish. And I think I was sluggish because obviously I was depressed, but I think there was a lot of toxins in my body. I really do. I mean, we do, even if you eat so good, you're getting toxins just from, the air you breathe, the chemicals. If you clean, there's a lot of chemicals. So I kind of started to learn to go completely holistic. I started slow because I couldn't afford it. But maybe I would buy one method, a natural cleaning solution that I could all purpose because that's all I could afford, So I would do it like that. I do it in steps. One of the things, if you do this modified fast, it's not expensive because you're not eating much. Now, if you have a family and you have to cook for everybody, that's a little harder. So you may want to talk to them and tell them that you're doing a modified fast, and maybe you could all come into how you would work that out with the cooking situation. But at any rate, even if you don't do that, just start self-care. Start looking into it. Start praying about it. It's really important. What you eat is really important. And I'm going to get a lot more into nutrition because I also have done a lot of study on nutrition. I'm talking years, okay? I was even raw food. I even did raw food, and I felt amazing. Though I can't seem to keep that up. So I'm like 70% raw at this point. So at any rate, if you can't do any more than just drink healthy teas all day, that will speed up your metabolism. That will bring healing into the body. Because these teas, green tea is very good for you. Very good. It's full of antioxidants. But always get an organic tea, okay? So I just wanted to touch base on that. Remind you to do self-care. There are videos that have makeup. I wouldn't go crazy with the beauty gurus because it's just not realistic, unless you're really into that. But there are simple, very lovely ladies that do really nice, simple makeup, simple hair. I could suggest a few if you want. Let me know in the comments. There's another thing I'd like to know. I'd like you to do for me. Tell me what you want me to talk about, okay? What subject do you want 3D Beauty to talk about? Okay, is it health? Is it nutrition? I will do a video on these things because I know a lot about these different avenues, okay? So that would help me too. But at any rate, I'm just sending the call out. Don't forget yourself. Remember that you are beautiful. And treat yourself like that. Okay? Even if no one else is treating you like that, it's even more of a reason for you to treat yourself as the beautiful person you are. Talk to you soon. Love you all. Bye-bye.